Today we are getting deep. We're gonna explore our man's life. This man out here is killing it. I'm always like, how the fuck? How did he does it all, you know?
Wow, that's amazing.
Like, I'm so proud, man. I'm so fucking glad of you. Like, I'm so happy to have you here. Like, you be a part of this, and like, I always wanted to. Like, I was like, he needs to be part of this because he knows, he understands, you know?
I do understand. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on your show and to sit and talk with you.
We all came together.
It is. And to that we take a sip.
Yes.
It's a manifestation that's rooted in prayer.
Oh, that was good. To love, I create the future.
Rosé is nice.
It's good. It feels so good. Like, I think every day I'm starting to learn something new. And I'm like, I want to share with other people, but I don't know who to share with, you know? Like, sometimes, like, I want to have that type of conversation with, like, people that I'm surrounded by, but they're so close-minded that they don't really are open to the idea and to really understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think sometimes I even, like, you know, on my way to work, I pretend like there's like, I'm talking to somebody else and put, like, you know, the recorder on. I'm like, you know what, let me just tell you how I feel, you know? I want you to hear, to see if you feel that same way, because I'm trying to find, you know, the real emotion behind, you know, this reaction, you know? This is like, sometimes, like, you might feel something, but you might not even understand it, and then you do something else, like action, and it's just like, why? That does not make sense, you know? How can that be together in reality? Like, it was never meant to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that didn't cause that.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy to think, like, for so long you said, like, oh, things are equal to that. There's no in between, you know? Any, like, multiplying or like, dividing. Sometimes, like, you just have to be one or zero, because the zero restarts everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It goes, we all, like, the same. Like, we're all a zero in this universe.
Yeah. So I feel like for me that's understanding how big the universe truly is. For me it was my initial, you know, realization of how small that I truly am is just like literally looking at a picture of the galaxies and seeing how small even the Earth is, and that you can't even see it.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, how important am I really? Very important,
Exactly.
but not important enough to where I should ever allow my ego to trick me.
So you live in balance. You try to keep it where, like, it's not too much of that, but not too little. It's just there when it feels right, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely about balance. It's a balance thing for sure. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I feel like it's easy to understand we're one, and also, like you were saying, also that we're zero, just by understanding that this universe is so much bigger than us. So I live my life by enjoying it as much as I can, but never taking it too seriously to the point that I feel like I'm bigger and my problems are bigger than this world.
I think I understand that, but I bring it back to relationships in a way. It's like, you don't like commitment?
Do I not like commitment?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I do like commitment, but I personally, I do have trust issues as well.
Why? Who did you wrong?
Who did me wrong?
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't say name, but
I'm not even gonna say names. I've been in a lot of toxic relationships.
why so? Why do you?
I wouldn't
You feel like you have to fight for them?
fight for them.
Yeah. Like,
What do you mean by that?
even though, like, you really didn't feel them, you kind of just like, okay, I need to, like, you know, fight back until, like, they're like, okay, they're happy, you know? Or they're just like, they're cool. Sometimes it's not really like how you feel, but it's just like, you gotta keep it neutral.
I feel like every situation is unique. Every situation is different. For every relationship that I've been in, speaking for myself, and I believe for everyone, no two relationships are the same.
That's
Wow. And actually, just going with that train of thought, that should give us a lot of freedom when we, first start messing with somebody new.
Yeah.
The fact is, no two people are the same, so you really can't bring any past baggage to that new person because this person is a completely new person.
Yeah, they have a new perspective, bro. They're changed to better, not worse. And they're not as wow. That's really interesting that you said that because I just had this last week. I realized that. I was like, wow, it took me this long to understand that. And now that I hear that you have the same realization, it makes me think back to damn, we really, we are on the same, planet. We all leading to sort of thing that connect us, because we understand those feelings. Because at the end of the day, sometimes don't remember that thing or how that thing made you feel, because it was so impactful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And that's crazy because I see you as I see as a mentor, and I always I have always said it, but it's so crazy to me because it's you inspire me to do more and push myself and stuff because that's what you're doing, you're there's no limit, you gotta keep going because you're gonna be the winner. You are with the winners within you, so now you have to put it out there and be this is it, this is who I am, and I want to be a king.
Mm-hmm. So, what is it specifically that you admire in me that inspires you?
That you're not afraid to just ask for it or find a way. It's you know what, I'm gonna ask, or I'm just gonna tell them. I'm just gonna let's see if they feel the same way. It's just life is just about seeing what is out there. I think it was interesting that I don't know. I feel also every time I talk to you, I feel this such a powerful way. I'm I agree, and that makes me value you more, because your words are so inspiring. And I'm this man is doing so much more, because if he is talking what he's preaching. He's talking what he's doing. It's he has to be the greatest of all, And sometimes I think that's why some people have such a high expectation of us, because it's they know that this person can do more, but they're just not doing it. It's why are you doing that? What's stopping you?
Well, I feel what stops a lot of people is the balance of. I think people are afraid that if they actually put the effort that's needed to do the things that they want, that they'll be too stressed out or something, it's homework or something.
Yeah.
So I just feel there's a balance. Obviously nobody wants to work all day, or everybody has aspirations, but you need time to rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel we just need to chase our dreams fully, and not be afraid to reach that barrier or any of the obstacles that may come with it.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But at the same time, just be on, doing
something else that's gonna make you go forward into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also pacing yourself. So.
What do you mean pacing? Keeping track of how your progress is going?
But what I mean by pacing yourself is I feel every day you should put your best foot forward. So you should strive to accomplish, many things that are important to you. But also within doing that and striving to do many things, I feel one needs to prioritize their mental health and their self-peace. So that's what I say is the balance. And why I feel a lot of people have a fear to really chase and do the things that they aspire to do, because they're scared of that wall of, this might be hard.
Oh yeah, that's it. I think you just made me understand why I was suffering so much this past week. Because I was trying to get to that point where I understood it, and now I just did. Because the wall is, it's gonna be there, but it's always, time is still gonna go. Even if you do it now, or do it later, or never do it, time is still gonna go, You're gonna be older anyway, so why not just take this moment and, just take it right when it's early. You can feel more of it. It's not just gonna be it's over,
I agree with that.
Sometimes I feel I have to I've been struggling to understand that Because in that way, I feel like I'm young to understand it as well, you know? Like, it's like you now I feel like you understand that, right? Like, you kind of knew that too. Because it's like you're in the same, like, you know, mental, like path that other people are too afraid to do, which is like why they don't understand. And it's like it all goes back to what you're doing, you know, like just like I just gotta try it. I just gotta see how it's gonna be.
Yeah, and I'd say even for myself, yeah, but that one take some rosé to it too.
Oh man, you're so funny.
But I say even for myself, I have my own struggles as well. And like I said, it's all a balance. It's about finding that balance. Because another thing, we're very young. If you're young and watching this, what you should be doing in your early 20s all the way through your 30s is chasing your dreams in whatever passion that you have and really trying to make something out of it. Whatever your purpose is, it doesn't even have to be a business. Whatever you are truly passionate and sits in your heart and you're like, this is what I would love to do.
That's my own problem.
So that's your problem?
That's my dream.
Oh, that's your dream,
yeah. Like I just wanna help. I just wanna help people. I wanna help change the world. There's so many people struggling. It's like they just need one, sense of like one hand or just somebody to know that they still can. Because they lost hope a long time ago. And it's like even the people that are like trying to reach the stairs and stuff, like go up into the future and stuff, they can because it's like they don't have even the resource for it. Like they want to do it, they really have the passion, but they don't have the tools. And that limits a lot of like poor kids, because they feel like, oh, like, and I don't know, like I don't have this, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's the thing about resources and stuff, because I have a lot of family and friends all around the world and in different cities around America, and many of them say that the things that they see me doing, or just a lot of people in Atlanta just doing entrepreneur things or things within the art field, they don't see people in their areas necessarily doing that. And it really all comes down to resources and stuff. Like you just said, a lot of poor kids often don't feel the confidence or freedom to do a lot of these things.
Because of limit their minds.
Yeah, and it's all about availability of resources and environment, essentially. What I aspire to do, really what is, what my purpose is essentially to make a lot of money so I can give it all away to the people who really need it and allocate it to giving resources to poor kids all around the world.
Why don't you just do it to one organization?
I'm sorry?
Why don't you just do it to an organization?
To what?
Why don't you do it in an organization? Just do it
in my organization?
In my nonprofit organization.
Oh.
You can do that. Because I'm trying to reach everywhere, everywhere. And it's like I know you're gonna be like somebody big one day, and like I know like we're in the same way, like in the same path.
That's crazy. That means a lot to me. Because the truth is, only one person needs to believe in you.
And I believe in you, man. And
I believe in you too.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see you having your own show and what you're doing. You have a nonprofit. You literally were just spitting bars and going crazy.
That's cool.
It's amazing to see you. You're actually, I feel like, a role model to all women and not being afraid to try and do different things and actually excelling in them while looking beautiful.
Wow, my girl. I haven't just had one of those moments in a long time, and it's just I feel like that's what I needed. I just needed that, like how you said, like somebody to be, because it's like I've been sad trying to show somebody that I'm capable of doing everything, that I can handle it and I can like even inspire other people to do the same things, or even a lot more. Because it's like I think in diversity, I'm trying to be diverse in everything that I do, and not only on race but like on life, because then color is just nothing, so because the people feel entitled, they put they took the power of somebody else, but it was really like they knew they were more powerful than them, so then they tricked their minds, you know, and took like, oh, of course, put them into situations where like they were inhuman. Just like, you know, at first they were fighters, you know, and that's where they became so famous. But then with time, they start like, they like say, oh, you know, going back, this might hurt, you know, and that's why they try to like limit themselves. You know how you said like they just like that sense of like, I don't want to go too far in because I'm not capable. But you see like all these, you know, successful black people just like changing the world, and you're like, wow, you never knew he was there the whole time, you know. And because now this is the more where like, hey, like we see you, you know, because you like you've been there this whole time. They didn't want to show it you to the world. They didn't want other people to know that they could do the same thing as you did, because you were just, you know, there. Like you know all the struggle. You don't just like, this is like when I'm, you know, somebody lift me up into the top and then I just say that I went the ropes. No, you climb that, you know. You climb every step and tell yourself, you got this, you know. I want to keep dreaming. I'm going to go, you know, bigger.
Yeah, and I'm still climbing them steps every day, but I just know that I'm going to be everything that I visualize in my head. Because everything that I imagined for myself, even bigger things have happened than I could have imagined. So I just believe with true faith and work, there's no way anybody can succeed in whatever they want to do.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter what step you on. If you're on step 1 to step 10, there's really endless steps, because in this journey we'll constantly evolve.
Yeah. And it like, it kind of makes it, that reminds me of, you know how before in races, like running races, they would say, oh, you can't go up to this like 8, you know, you can't run 8 miles, a mile in 8 minutes. And somebody ran it in like 6 minutes. And somebody ran into like, I think it was like 2 minutes, you know, like it just, like people thought, oh no, I'm not gonna push as hard because I'm never gonna get there. That's not possible, you know, this is the limit. But I said they didn't know they can like push it harder. They could like fight more for it, you know? Because they trained like more than anybody else, because they knew they could push, you know, he didn't stop when they said stop. They continue.
Okay.
You feel that?
I definitely do. I feel like that's why we have a design for my clothing brand project now called The Ascension. And in the design, it's an angel constantly getting bigger as it finally reaches its final form of ascension.
That was so clever.
And that is how I feel like life is. At each step, there's obstacles. But you'll constantly ascend.
Wow.
Even in those obstacles, that's where you're really growing the most.
You know, I think it's crazy. I mean, that goes back to like the paintings, you know, like how they were. Like there were little baby angels, and then there were like the big angels, you know, like the ones that would like just look like humans. They were just like flying. They were, you know, they were part of it. They were just there watching what was happening, but they were being part of it. They were like, let's do this, you know, we're fighting for this, you know. Like they have to like go through it so they can like be like, this is what I own this, you know, this is my story. And I want everybody to know it.
For sure.
I mean, even like, it's just crazy because I was thinking like, you know how in the room, like there was this one person that fell in love with themselves so much, so like they fall in the water and drown. You know that story in the Bible?
Yeah, tell me about it. They did what to the water?
So basically this guy was so in love with himself, he just want to keep looking at himself. So he was looking down in the water, you know, so he can see his reflection, want to see himself. It was kind of like a mirror, you know. And he was so obsessed that he just kept going, and then he went in the water and drowned. Like he just drowned because he was so obsessed with himself. And it goes back to like narcissists, you know. Like they sometimes like the only thing that they see is themselves. They don't see anybody else or what's going on around them. So it's like every angel or every, you know, like, you know, story that we like look up to has like a whole, you know, truth behind or like reality.
Definitely.
Because it's like in a way we're trying to figure out who this person would look like, you know. We have to use our minds
for sure
to determine that. If we don't, brains don't just create faces; they see faces.
Mm.
You know.
Mm. What exactly do you mean by the brain see faces?
I feel like sometimes I'm going too deep now, but sometimes we live in realities that we're not even aware of. We're just kind of like there, you know, like seeing what's happening.
You know what I just realized?
What?
No matter, wow, it actually kind of gives me goosebumps. But it doesn't matter what is done with this video, because you can still watch this exact video moment when you're 85 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about that, how you just said we be in the reality, but we're not always just like this exact moment.
It's an example of that.
Yeah.
And it's like that
One day our perspective of this reality will be different from how we're experiencing.
and we're like, why are we even thinking that? And we go back to like, oh, I see why. I understand it now.
You will see how you looked on camera when you were young, and that's something that's gonna hold a lot of value in the world. I think that's amazing.
So you remember
That's
that
technology.
wow, you remember when that picture was taken basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. That's why like pictures that are like face to face are more memorable.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm in the moment and I'm living it, and I'm looking at the camera sometimes just because I want to see my face too. You know?
Oh my god. I understand that, but the picture that you took here, it was so funny. You were like, I'm so proud, this is my place.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, this is my crib.
This shit is lit. Look at this.
You know what I mean?
Man, like,
Kicking the 24 floors in the air, how we stand. You did. Where were we?
that's so funny. So tell me more about your business.
So, I have a clothing line, Project North. Just got that drip for you. You know, what can I say? We have some nice designs, we have some new things dropping sooner. A lot of things coming this month, a lot of things coming throughout the winter. So if you follow us at Project North, that's Project NAWF on Instagram, you'll be updated with all the drip that's coming. So yeah, started the clothing brand my senior year of high school. I'm a senior in college right now, and we've had a lot of growth. Praise be to God. For sure.
That shit is lit. I'm telling you, this is the man.
Mm-hmm. So you can also follow me on my personal Instagram at JY_DKO. I also have my own talk show called Be Honest, where hopefully we'll be able to have Victoria on the show and be able to hear her dope mind and come kick it on mine.
You already know it's coming.
So you heard it here first. And if you're watching this in like 2050 or 2060, now you're looking at some of the two flyers for the 2020s.
Oh yeah.